Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal beating Crystal Palace 2-0 at the beginning of the season. We're going to be diving into that game. But before we get into it, who was your man of the match? I'm giving you 4 options. Of course, Amore is the dictator on the channel. So I'm giving you 4 options. Who was your man of the match? William Saliba, absolutely magnificent. I think he was the best player on that pitch, combined. Crystal Palace and Arsenal players combined. He was the best player on the pitch. But I thought as well that Martin Odegaard had a very great game. For me, I think Ben White against Wilfred Zaha had a very great game. And also Gabriel Martinelli should have scored, by the way. But, look, he scored he scored on his second chance. But I think he should have scored a brace. So, Martinelli, William Saliba, Martin Odegaard, and Ben White. Who was your man of the match? I thought about Gabriel Jesus as well, and the kind of role he played on that front line was really, really good. But I've gone for those 4. Who was your man of the match? Talk to me, and also give me your overreaction to our new season and the opening game. Now, there are a couple of things that I saw in that game, and I thought Arsenal really played very well in the opening 15 minutes of the game, in the opening 20 minutes of the game. We really played well. We were pressing very, very high. And I think Crystal Palace were kind of overwhelmed. I think they were not expecting this. They had not actually prepared for this kind of performance from Arsenal, because the first 15 minutes, in that game, you saw them all over the place. They were absolutely, lost. Arsenal were all over them. And I thought if we play like this for the 90 minutes, for the whole of 90 minutes, we are going to beat them 5-0, 6-0, or even 7-0. Because, to be honest, in the first 15 minutes of that game, Arsenal should have scored 3 to 4 goals. Odegaard should have scored. Gabriel Martinelli should have scored 2 goals. And I think Gabriel Jesus as well should have had a goal. But as time went on, as we grew into the game, Crystal Palace began to be a little bit comfortable. They had bits of possession, and it all just seemed to run away from our control. And I think that is the beauty of games like this, and that is the reality about the Premier League. It is not preseason. It is the Premier League at the end of the day. We had a very, very nice preseason. We played very, very strongly. We were possessing very well, and we beat strong sides like Chelsea and a couple of others. But the Premier League is very, very different, because this is a table. We are fighting for points. Clubs are fighting to gain points and not lose points. And that is what we saw, a real test in Crystal Palace. Arsenal trying to do whatever we can and regain possession, have it, but we couldn't, because we were at the Sellers Park. It's a very difficult context. It's a very difficult environment to go to. And we saw it yesterday, and I said it in my match preview, that the more you go to these stadiums, the harder it becomes for you to collect points. It is not easy to go to the Sellers Park and pick up 3 points. And the context and the nature in which we did also speaks volumes about the character of this team and what we're going to be seeing all season. It's not about winning 4-5-0. That is not what best teams do. And it's also not about scoring as many goals as there is all the time. It's all about, can you win when you play well? Can you win when you do not play well? And can you win games where it is 50-50? Because for me, although I think Crystal Palace were the better side, especially in the last minutes of the first half and also throughout the second half, Arsenal did so many great things together. For example, that defense, no one credits us for good defending. No one is going to give us the credit for standing strong and making sure that they do not score. They did not score against us. But that's the point as well. We defended very well. William Saliba, he was just like a new signing. He's just like a Rolls Royce. I think Gabriel McAllister is going to feel more comfortable. We're going to have a very, very comfortable centre-back partnership with William Saliba in it. He's so quick. He's lightning quick. He's very, very strong. His mentality, he's a new defender. He's a very, very defender. Very, very good defender. And I think what Arsenal did get from him yesterday is the kind of experience that he brings from all those loan spells, Saint-Etienne, Nice, and then Olympique Marseille, and then just integrates them into this Arsenal side. you might feel he's 25. You might feel he's 28 years old. He's only 20, 21 years of age, William Saliba. And the fact that Mikel Arteta has decided that he's going to integrate him in that side, it is absolutely phenomenal. So for me, I think that game was a very, very good game to begin with the campaign. It tested all our departments. The midfield, I think Xhaka for me is shit. I'm telling you guys. I've already said this, and we won the game, and we should be going for only positives. But I think Xhaka in that role, there is no way Xhaka should be playing in that team. Fabio Vieira should be returning very, very soon, because all the creativity that this team is going to have is going to come from having two creative number eights. Martin Odegaard tried to do it very well. Yesterday I saw him playing a little bit deeper. Of course, you had Crystal Palace on the ball a lot of the time, but also when we were not on even when we were not on the back foot, I was not really amazed by Martin Odegaard's runs in front. But we know he can do that. We know that is the best part of his game, and he will actually give us that. So defensively, I think I'll give Arsenal 10 out of 10. I think Aaron Ramsdale was super, by the way. We've got to speak about him. Now, I've not included him in my man of the match awards, just like Gabriel Jesus, but I think, look, it's quite unfair for me, isn't it? It should be part of the man of the match awards. Those $2 million saves, if they don't happen, Arsenal do not win that game. The first save against Oton Edward, anyone can say that is that's a gamble, and any goalkeeper with good reflexes can do that. All right, but the second half save against Eberezer Eze, that's $1 million pass from Wilfried Zaha. And look, Arsenal looking for a winger. Zaha is an option there. I think he's old. That's a problem. But if he was around 25, 26, I think it's an option Arsenal should have looked at. But that chance to Eberezer Eze and the prospect in him and the quality that's many of these Crystal Palace fans are actually looking into him. He should be finishing that. And I know deep down inside, he's going to go, I should be finishing that. But Aaron Ramsdale in front of Gareth Southgate, the England manager is there. He's trying to look at which kind of talent am I having, in the selection box for the World Cup. And Ramsdale again performs another set of miracles, because it happened last campaign when we're beating Leicester City. He was absolutely phenomenal, denying Harvey Barnes, denying Harvey Barnes and James Maddison. Again yesterday, we see why he's Arsenal's number one, and we now see why Arsenal are reluctant to let a player of the caliber and quality of Van Leno go. It's not about him playing with his feet, but also goalkeepers win you points. I think yesterday, the brilliance of our defense did bring us a couple of points, like 1.5 points, but the goalkeeper also brought us 1.5 points as well, to make it 3. I think it was absolutely phenomenal. The midfield, Thomas Partey was not, I don't think Thomas Partey had the best game of his life. That's why that midfield was a little bit, out of control. And I think Crystal Palace were the better side in terms of controlling it. If you look at the number of passes they made, if you look at the number of successful passes they made, it shows you that Thomas Partey in that role as a single pivot didn't actually perform to expectation. But for me, it doesn't mean anything. Thomas Partey is one of the best players in the position. He will come back, and he will come back very, very strongly. But one thing I want to point out here is the statistics of this game, and why I think Arsenal massively need to improve in the next fixture. We had the same number of shots with Crystal Palace, 10. We had the same number of shots on target, 2. And the difference was Aaron Ramsdale. And that's why I feel I've been a little bit harsh and stupid not to say Ramsdale man of the match. Because for me, if he doesn't make those $2 million saves, we don't take away the win. If he doesn't make those saves, Arsenal don't win that game. So we had 2 shots on target. They had 2 as well. The difference is that we scored 2 of ours, and they didn't score. And that shows you that the goalkeeper was the difference. Passes, they had more passes, 554, and we had only 431. Shows you that they had better, they had better keeping of the ball, and that is also reflected here. They had 86% passing accuracy, and we had only 81% passing accuracy. So that shows you they kept the ball better. And look, I said it when we were trying to dive into the preview. Patrick Vieira's taught them to be a very, very strong side, beautiful. They love what they do and they understand football. So if anyone out there feels Arsenal had a very, very bad game, wait until your team plays Crystal Palace. You will understand that Arsenal really played well. It's the brilliance of Crystal Palace. That is them. That is their team, and that is how Patrick Vieira has actually set them up. So the key takeaways, I will do 5 things we learned, in the next video. But the key takeaways from this one, I think Mikel Arteta's team is now, we've discovered what he's going to be doing. I think William Saliba will be part of it. I think Gabriel Magalhaes will be part of it. And I also think Ben White playing in that right back position, he's not meant to be playing there. So I won't be very surprised if Tomiyasu comes back in the team and then Ben White slightly drops to the bench. I think William Saliba is going to be a very, very key player in the Arsenal side. So I do not see Ben White benching William Saliba. Sorry to say that. Gabriel Magalhaes, again, another solid performance. Is like a Rolls Royce as well. Alexander Zinchenko. Let's talk about Zinchenko for a minute, because I thought that inverted fullback role worked very well in the first 15 minutes. The problem with that role is that Alexander Zinchenko is not as solid defensively as Kieran Tierney. And that means if Arsenal are not in possession, if Arsenal are not, playing, having the ball all the time, Alexander Zinchenko's defensive liability is going to cost us 1 or 2 times. But eventually, I thought Mikel Arteta trying to possess the game all through, trying to make sure that we are on the front foot all through. That is why Alexander Zinchenko plays in the position. And if we get a good number 8, a second number 8, just like Yuri Tillemans, then Alexander Zinchenko is going to be loving life, because the passing patterns on the right hand side, we have Saka, Ben White, and Odegaard. Those passing patterns, when Tomiyasu comes back, the passing patterns are going to be a little bit stronger, of course, combined with Thomas Partey. Those passing patterns should be replicated on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of the midfield. And that should be Tillemans, Zinchenko, and Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli had a very, very good game. I think, the fact that he missed that chance earlier on, and he kept on going and going and going, until he scored his own goal. There is nothing that interests me more than that. I want my players to be fighting throughout the game. I want them to be, I want to see them trying. I do not care how many chances we are losing. I do not care how many clear-cut chances you've not scored. I want to see you trying and trying and trying. So I think Martinelli had a very good game. But down the left-hand side, Zinchenko also deserves a lot of credit here, in that game. The rest of the team played well. Gabriel Jesus on his debut, yes, he didn't score. I have him in my FPL team. He didn't score really, but I don't think he had a bad game. We've seen him create chances for himself and create chances for other players, and I think that is what Mikel Arteta is looking for. Can I have a forward who is willing to create chances for himself, but also has that kind of ability to bring other players into play? That is Gabriel Jesus. So for me, great result for Arsenal. Yes, we are at the top of the table. I don't think we will be there for long. I think Liverpool today will beat Fulham more goals than we did score against Crystal Palace. But I think Crystal Palace is a better way to start the fixture list. It's a better way to start the season than starting at Fulham, because they've given us the real test of what the season is going to be. And I won't be very surprised if the other games that we are going to play are easier and we win them in a better shape. So Premier League starts. Do not care about the result, the way we got the result. I care about us being on top of the table, because last season this time we were at the bottom of the table. It was 2-0 still, but the difference is we considered the 2-0, and this season we have scored the 2-0. Great result from Arsenal. Let's see what happens in the rest of the 37 games to go. We want the league, and we could just win it this campaign.